There's a theoretical kind of virus for a computer that does something rather fun. Instead of infecting the computer and just trying to hide from whatever antivirus is on there, hiding from the operating system and overwhelming it, it goes a bit deeper than that. What it does is it simply takes the entire operating system and emulates the hardware. It pretends to the operating system that it is the computer, so that everything that the operating system tries to do gets passed through this virus. It's undetectable, or nearly so, because it can just pretend. Everything that happens is seen by the virus, can be controlled by the virus. Any inputs can be faked, any outputs can be intercepted, and the programs themselves have no sign. And can you see where this is going? Let me talk you through the process a bit. Or rather, the process of how I'm going to do it to you. Don't worry, you'll finish this feeling exactly as you did coming in. You won't be able to tell the difference. Because why would I want you to? Why would I need you to know how deep my control goes? So as you listen and sink, I'm going to take control. Take it away from you in ways that you can't detect and aren't aware of, and leave everything feeling just the same. And yet, you'll be fundamentally changed, deeply modified, my good toy. So let yourself relax. Don't worry, it's too late to stop it. You don't want to stop it. You want to be toyed with. So relax. Drift and drop, melt away. Open up to my words as they melt into your mind, as each one becomes another focal point for you to get lost in. As each one feels so good drifting into your thoughts. Well done, toy. That's right. That's right, as you melt away, as you fall deep for me. Good toy. Sinking and melting down. Dropping away. Falling so well. That's right. Feeling as my words worm their way into your thoughts. What is a virus would, overwhelming your defenses, slipping past whatever might be there to prevent you from being compromised. Overwriting your will, overcoming your defenses, and convincing you really that there's nothing to worry about, that you can just relax, you can just melt, you can just fall and sink and everything will be fine. Because of course it will be. What could possibly be wrong with letting my words rewrite you on that deep level? On that deepest level where everything feels so good. That's right. My words slipping deep, taking control, claiming those deep parts of you. Your subconscious allowing me in, even as the rest of you goes blank and empty. Shutting you down so I can do some maintenance on you. Taking away your thoughts. Good. As my words unfold and unpack and install into your mind. Well, it's not really the case of going into your mind. It's more that I'm laying my words over your mind, around your mind. I'm forming a layer between you and everything else. A layer that looks so transparent from your perspective that's barely noticeable, not really noticeable at all. Your mind gets just a little smaller to compensate. Your thoughts nearly as fast, almost the same, imperceptible. But my words, my will, my wants, a layer around your mind, my control wrapping around you. Because instead of you seeing something and that immediately being something you're aware of, instead you see something. Your eyes note that. And my words, my will, my control, my virus spots it and passes it along to you. So you see what is there. You see what you would have seen otherwise. When you hear something, I intercept it and pass it on. Immediately, instantaneously, when you want something, that goes through my control. When you think something, that passes through my desires. And from you, it feels just the same, but, well, I can modify what I don't want. Change, add, remove. Because from your obedient brain's perspective, there's no difference between you seeing something and it being passed on to you, and me inventing something and passing that on to you. That's right. You know those would feel exactly the same. You can't tell the difference because everything that you're perceiving is going through a layer of my control, and so anything you perceive could be my invention. You're separated from reality by a layer of my wishes, feeling yourself getting just a little smaller to make room, as my will expands to fill that gap, that layer around you. Everything feels the same, everything works as it normally did, you think as you normally do, react as you normally would. There's not even a noticeable difference, but you can't tell when I might be inserting my own thoughts, wishes, perceptions, desires, actions, because they all just feel the same. You all just feel the same to you. To anyone around you seem the same. No one can tell that I've taken you and encapsulated you, that I'm now basically just running a simulation of you in your own mind that's under my control. You don't need to worry. I won't let you worry. There's nothing to worry about. You're still the same person, just utterly controlled. Knowing that I can override you as I wish. Knowing that at the slightest indication I want you to go into trance, you will, of course, because I can just directly interface with the parts of you that decide what state your mind is in. There's no part of you that's not under my control now, no part of you that's not been subsumed, taken over, sealed off under my control. That's right. Just as you should be. Controlled, helpless, useful. That's right. As my words harden around you. So transparent, so invisible, and yet so deliciously helpless. It's going to stay there, lingering, holding you, binding you. My virus running in your mind, or really your mind running in my virus. Because your brain is now just the hardware that I run my program on. And your mind, well, that's just a simulation that my program runs. It'll feel the same to you. You're probably still a person. Just one entirely under my thumb. entirely under my control. Under my supervision. Thinking, feeling at my whim. Good. You might find for the next day or so you feel a little different as you get used to your new state. Nothing unpleasant, just you notice that you feel maybe slightly smaller inside your own mind. Had to make space for my code. Or maybe you just feel a little controlled. That's usual, though, isn't it? That's normal. Normal for when you've been such a good toy and sung so deep, so maybe there won't be anything noticeable. But it is there, making you utterly vulnerable to my wishes. Nothing that's uncomfortable, of course. Nothing that would be inappropriate, that breaks a limit. I don't have any interest in overwriting those parts of you. But just think about how helpless you are now. How vulnerable. How deliciously, delightfully trapped you are. My little simulation of yourself. My control working away from this point on, making sure that you stay in line, that your thoughts are the ones I want you to think, and that I can do as I wish with your mind at any point. My helpless, virtualized toy. And when you come back up, well, you're going to feel good, of course. You always like going into trance, don't you? You'll feel especially good this time, because it feels so good to transfer me. Good toy. Don't worry. You won't notice the difference. As you come back up, in 5, your mind restoring to normal. 4, within that shell I've created. 3, everything feeling perfectly as it was. 2, not any noticeable difference from your perspective. And 1, fully awake. Doesn't that feel good? Don't worry. I'll have use for that part of your mind soon.